jealousy doesn't always look like hatred. Sometimes it wears a smile, claps when you win, and says, "I'm so proud of you." Sometimes it hides behind compliments that sound sincere, but cut just deep enough to make you question yourself. The truth is, not every friend who claps for you wants you to keep rising. Some only cheer because they think you'll eventually fall. Secret competition is one of the most common but least acknowledged dynamics. In modern friendships, it's rarely loud. It doesn't announce itself with open hostility. It creeps in quietly, in comparisons, subtle remarks, sudden distance. It lives in the tension between admiration and envy, love and resentment. Psychologically, jealousy is one of the most primitive emotions we experience. It comes from the survival instinct, the part of the brain that sees another person's success as a threat to its own significance. But when it shows up in friendships, it's not about survival of the body, it's about survival of the ego. A jealous friend doesn't hate that you're doing well. They hate that your growth makes them question their own. Every time you evolve, they're forced to confront the version of themselves that stayed behind. They won't admit it, even to themselves, because jealousy is shameful. So instead, they mask it as humor, indifference, or even concern. You'll hear it in small comments. "You've changed. You're lucky. Must be nice." These phrases sound harmless, but psychologically, they're defense mechanisms. It's the ego trying to restore balance by minimizing your success. If they can convince themselves that you didn't earn it, that it was luck, timing, or privilege, then they don't have to face the pain of their own stagnation. The danger is that many jealous friends don't consciously know they're competing with you. The comparison runs subconsciously, triggered by their own unmet potential. When they look at you, they don't just see a friend, they see proof of what they could have been if they had believed in themselves. And that's unbearable for a fragile ego. So instead of learning from you, they compete. Not to surpass you, but to neutralize you. To bring you back down to a level where they feel safe again. They'll subtly dismiss your achievements, criticize your choices, or disappear during your victories, because in their mind, your light dims theirs. That's the twisted psychology of jealousy. It doesn't see shared success as abundance. It sees it as scarcity. Your growth feels like their loss. Your progress feels like their irrelevance. They measure their worth against you, not realizing that competition in friendship is the fastest way to destroy it. And yet, you'll keep forgiving them, because deep down, you remember who they were before envy poisoned the bond. You'll explain away their passive aggression. You'll tell yourself, they're just going through something. But the truth is, they are going through something. It's just not what you think. They're mourning a version of themselves that can't keep up with the version of you that kept growing. Friendship isn't supposed to be a scoreboard, but for the insecure mind, every comparison feels like proof of inadequacy. They don't want you to lose. They just want you to stop winning so loudly. Because your light reminds them how dim they've allowed theirs to become. The sad part is, many jealous friends convince themselves they're still being supportive. They'll celebrate you publicly, but compete privately, tracking your moves, copying your habits, mirroring your confidence, not because they admire you, but because they want to be you. And the moment you notice, you start feeling something no one talks about: emotional dissonance. That gut feeling that tells you the energy doesn't match the words. That's the moment you realize you were never competing with them, but they were always keeping score. The psychology of jealousy runs on one core belief: there's not enough for both of us. It's the scarcity wound, rooted in insecurity and fear. Most people who secretly compete with their friends grew up in environments where love, validation, or attention had to be earned. They learned that to be seen, someone else had to be overlooked. To feel valuable, someone else had to lose. That's the tragedy of jealous friends. They never learn that admiration can coexist with self-worth. So instead of letting your success inspire them, it threatens them. Your wins feel like proof of their failure. And instead of asking, "How can I rise too?" they ask, "How do I bring them back down?" They won't say it out loud, but you'll feel it. You'll notice how your joy makes them uncomfortable, how your vulnerability turns into their gossip, how they show up most when you're struggling, but disappear when you're thriving. It's because your pain makes them feel useful, but your peace makes them feel small. The dark truth is, jealousy often hides behind love. That's why it hurts so much, because it comes from the people who were supposed to root for you. It's easier to face hate from strangers than envy from those you trusted. But jealousy in friendships isn't just emotional, it's psychological warfare. It seeps into the little moments where they mirror your energy just enough to seem aligned, but twist it just enough to make you doubt yourself. You start questioning whether you're imagining things. You wonder if you're paranoid. You downplay their tone, their subtle undermining, their constant need to compare. But that's the trick. Jealousy gaslights you. It makes you feel guilty for noticing. Because the jealous friend isn't just competing with you, they're performing innocence while doing it. Underneath it all, what they really crave isn't your success, but your ease. The way you seem comfortable in your skin, the way you trust yourself, the way you make difficult things look effortless. It's not the result they envy, it's the self-assurance behind it. And that's something they can't steal, no matter how much they mimic you. Psychologically, envy feeds off proximity. The closer someone is to you, the more personal your wins feel to them. A stranger's success might inspire, but a friend's success confronts. It reflects their own self-neglect. Every time you rise, they're reminded of the dreams they've postponed, the chances they never took. And instead of confronting that pain, they deflect it onto you. So what do you do when you realize your friend's support is a mask for competition? You stop explaining yourself. You stop shrinking to protect their comfort. You stop over-justifying your blessings to make them feel secure. Because the moment you do that, you're lowering your vibration to match their fear. The healing comes when you understand that jealousy isn't your problem to fix. You didn't cause it, you only exposed it. You triggered a wound that was already there. And the more you grow, the more you'll trigger it in others. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something they're too afraid to do. The solution isn't confrontation, it's clarity. You don't need to fight them. You just need to see them for who they are. Pay attention to energy, not words. Notice who gets quiet when you're proud of yourself. Notice who only calls when they need something. Notice who subtly undermines your progress by saying you're lucky instead of you worked for that. Those are red flags wrapped in friendship. The people who are meant to walk with you will never feel threatened by your evolution. They'll celebrate your growth as if it were their own. They'll challenge you, not compete with you. They'll want to see you shine because they're not afraid of their own reflection. But those who secretly compete will always betray themselves, eventually. Their envy will turn to distance, then bitterness, then silence. Let it, don't chase what's falling away. Jealousy can't coexist with genuine connection. When you finally stop chasing approval, something shifts. You realize you never needed more friends. You needed more honesty. The kind that doesn't flinch when you rise. The kind that claps even when they're still climbing. Because real friendship doesn't compete. It complements, it says, your win doesn't threaten me. It reminds me what's possible. And once you experience that kind of connection, you'll never mistake competition for love again. So if you ever wonder why they envy you, remember this. People only compete with what they secretly admire, but believe they can't become. They're not against you. They're at war with themselves. And the most powerful thing you can do is keep winning quietly.